This is my week 3 peer review for Matthew Helms and Chelsea Wells, including my review of myself for my memorable speech. I will start with Mr. Helms. It was a good story. It really brought me into what you were talking about. It was actually an exciting story, to say the least. And a couple things that I would recommend to work on is obviously, and this goes for myself too, but I'll get to that in a minute, is helping to prepare the speech. I took that note down when a lot of times you were forgetting where you were at in your speech. I guess preparing helps you keep your events in time to where you're going next, instead of I guess guesstimating to where you go, where your story is headed. So just preparing yourself would help with that. Other than that, you're very clear, you're very spoken, you weren't hard to understand or anything like that. But other than that, it was a good speech overall. And that's what I got out of Matthew Helms' speech. Chelsea Wells, one of the biggest things I noticed with your speech was just filler words. And I'm sure after reviewing your own video, you can look back and see that you say "so" a ton of times. I know I personally have trouble with filler words. I say a lot, if you can't tell. I'll probably always tell everybody preparedness is probably the key thing with speeches, and I think that would have helped with just laying out your speech. Was just be prepared, lay it out on paper first, keep the events in time, in sync, know where you're going next. Other than that, good job with bringing me into the situation. Was a note I made here. When you started talking about being in your room, cleaning your house, just the way you did that actually put me in that situation, which was a great job. But other than that, good job, Chelsea. Me personally, after reviewing my memorable speech, definitely filler words was a big one. Looking away, eye contact. Anytime I got lost of where I was headed, I'd look up to the left, or I'd do that little face like this. Eye contact is huge, so to make a very impactful speech, keeping eye contact is a big part. I think that not being quite as prepared, obviously I kind of winged the whole pencil idea with my memorable speech, and just trying to pull ideas up from the left to talk about instead of being prepared, writing them down, and then really getting the point across like I needed to. Instead, I was kind of just pulling it from left field, as I like to say. Filler words was a big part of my speech, and probably any one of my speeches. Other than that, just the weirdness of looking at myself when I do a speech is one of the hardest things to get over. But other than that, I thought mine was at least impactful speech. I think it was a different type of approach on the memorable speeches, other than just coming up with a time. I kind of tied it into an item, starting differently and then working into the memories or the memorable part of the speech. But that's all I got, and we'll see you guys next week.